Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com.
The prohibition of Baal Tashchis, a concept quite well known and used amongst Yidden, is that certain things are not allowed to be done towards food or towards items as it transgresses Baal Tashchis, wasting an item. What is the source of the prohibition? What does it include? What does it apply to? And what are the cases of exception? So in Parsha Shoftim, in the Torah's discussion of how the Jewish people are to act when they place siege to an enemy city, the Torah mentions in chapter 20, Pasuk 19, that you are prohibited from destroying the trees of this city. And from here it is learned that there is a biblical prohibition to destroy fruit trees and likewise to destroy other items of use. So is recorded in the Gemara in Bava Kama 91b, Kedushin 32a, Shabbos 129a, and other areas of the Talmud that destroying an item transgresses Baal Tashchis, and so writes the Rambam in Ilchos Malachim 6:10, and so is recorded in the Shulchanaruch in Shmiras Haguf VaNefesh of the Alter Rebbe in Halacha 14. That the same way that one must be careful with his body not to cause it loss or harm or damage, so too one must be careful with one's possessions to not cause it loss or harm or damage. And continues the Alter Rebbe that anyone who damages an item which was fit for people to benefit from transgresses a negative command, a lav min HaTorah, and is liable for rabbinical lashes. As rules the Alter Rebbe, the Baal Tashchis is of biblical proportion. So rules Tosfos and Bava Metzia, is the implication of the Gemara in Bava Kama, is the implication of the Rambam and other poskim. However, there is an approach amongst poskim who understand that in truth the Isser of Baal Tashchis is really only rabbinical, meaning that biblically the Torah does not prohibit a universal prohibition against destroying useful items, but the Chachamim, the sages, placed a decree, a prohibition against doing so. So is the opinion of the Tiferes Yisrael, responsive to Heshav Moshe Yeridea 57, the Divrei HaMagid, Mishnah Lamelech on the Rambam, the Neder B'Yehuda Tinyana in Tshuva 10, and other Achronim. Whatever the case, everyone agrees it's forbidden. Some say biblical, some say rabbinical. Does this prohibition apply only to items that you own or to any item, whether owned by you, by someone else, by a Jew, by a Gentile, or not owned at all? It's hefker. So the Alter Rebbe continues and writes that the prohibition of Baal Tashchis, which in his opinion is biblical, applies irrelevant of ownership of the item. If it's an item that serves a benefit to the human race, it's biblically forbidden for you to destroy, whether it belongs to a Jew or Gentile, or is even not owned at all. This ruling of the Alter Rebbe is based on the Rishonim, the Smak, the Chinuch, and others. And so also rules the Neder B'Yehuda that it possibly applies even to a hefker item, although there are poskim who learn that in truth there is no prohibition of Baal Tashchis against a hefker item, and it only applies against an item that's owned by a person. So is the opinion of Heshav Moshe, Divrei HaMagid on the Mishnah Lamelech, and a possible way of learning the Rush on Midas, Perek Aleph, Mishnah 2. What's the source of the Alter Rebbe's ruling that it applies even towards hefker items? He learns it from the Torah itself, as the Torah forbade one against destroying the items that surround the city. And thus from here we learn that even if it belongs to a Gentile, meaning the owners of the city, or is disowned, the Torah prohibits one from destroying it. Some examples mentioned of where this prohibition is applicable. Writes the Alter Rebbe, accordingly anyone who breaks a vessel, a utensil, or tears clothing, or destroys a building, or stops up a spring, or causes loss to food or liquid, or makes the food become repulsive, or tears up or throws away money, or damages any item which is fit for people to benefit from, transgresses a negative command. Are there any exceptions? So Mirz Hashem, in our next segment on this subject, we will discuss a number of cases of exception and what are the qualifications of those exceptions, such as can one destroy an item for the purpose of instilling fear upon others, and one destroy an item for fixing purposes for the sake of bodily benefit. What about an item that does not serve any human benefit at all? May things like this be destroyed.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at Shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.